everyone, welcome to the 2013 BP World Ice Art Championships. Today is the last day, actually the last hour of the competition. We're going to walk you through the park.
The temperature's been above freezing all day and the sculptors have been struggling to get their pieces together. So we're going to go along and see how they're faring. The temperature is now slightly below freezing, which is making it possible for construction to resume. But they're down to the wire, and so there's quite a scramble to finish. Behind us here is piece number 1. This is called Unstoppable. This is by Kevin McLaughlin and David Bordeaux, Sam Vos, and Carl Eady. If you've been watching the videos up to this point, you'll have seen them blowing the snow off and putting the initial glaze on earlier. Now they're in the process of putting on the claws and creating the stream that the bear is supposed to be jumping out of.
Over here is the Russian team, and their sculpture is called The Dream of the Sky. It looks like they removed that beam and now everything's held together. It looks like it worked out for them. They were worried earlier about those two pieces coming together at the top and holding.
I remember you talking about that, and they were held apart by a 2x4, a piece of wood, and they were worried about that coming down if anything happened to that piece of wood.
That's pretty incredible to see that they all lean into that little piece of ice up there.
It's all leaning on that one thin little piece. And especially at these temperatures, you know what? I see some ice changing color up there. I hope that that's not cracking. But this next piece is called Extreme Ice by An Fing, An Dai, Julio Martinez, and Aubrey Newton.
I was watching them put up the pieces, put up the skiers, and it looked really difficult because they had to find the right slant, and I'm glad that they were able just to make them stay.
Yeah. Because
the whole entire sculpture piece could have broken, and they were very careful about measuring how those pieces would go into
the one in the front, they were worried about him falling forward for a while.
Yeah, they said that they had a couple of pieces fall today.
Looks like they recovered pretty well. We'll see how that goes in the next hour. Well, this is Chris Volt's piece. We've been watching this all through the competition. The warm weather doesn't seem to have affected his progress much. He's been able to tack things on, he says, using the aluminum plate process that we described in an earlier broadcast.
They have a lot of intricate details on this piece.
I understand the suction cups are something they practiced quite a bit in the lower 48 before they came up.
Oh, wow. I bet today was a little bit hard for them because they had to keep everything from melting like the...
They had their piece pretty much wrapped in the white Tyvek.
They did.
It helped keep the sun off and keep it from warming up.
We have another Russian team here. They're site number 5 and they're in the abstract category. Their sculpture is called Hope, and we have Ivan Zuyev, Mikhail Vasilenko, Alexander Parfinov, and Edward Ponomarenko working together as a team. Earlier when I talked to them, they said that their piece was about hope and how it has a sad theme to it. Well, it looks like they weren't describing everything in detail. They said that it would be a surprise, and what I'm seeing here is that there's a canoe and it's being tipped over. And maybe that these canoeists are trying to fight for the hope. Well, that's what it looks like.
For survival, maybe.
For survival, yeah.
Well, this is our international team. We have representatives here from the USA, Russia, Japan, and France. As you probably remember from a previous broadcast, we talked with Mario Amighi about the construction of the ribbon that goes across this piece. There is quite often, he is involved quite often in abstract pieces.
It's really neat to see a team of people from all over the world get together and communicate to create something.
And that's kind of what art is, kind of the universal language.
So what we have here is Site 8, and we have Victor Dagaton, Jeff Myers, Jim Dugan, and Jess Parrish, and their piece is called Warrior of the Lost World.
And this is a large piece. They have been in competition with two other sites that we'll be visiting shortly in how high that they're supposed to go. This one could go up another few feet as they add the tip onto that spear. But so far, I think it's sitting at about 23 feet. The lift operation to put that samurai warrior up on the top of that horse figure was pretty exciting.
Is he under me? Is he in the cage? Yeah, tell him not to leave the cage, okay? Hey, Jeff, I need that hammer.
So almost done?
Almost done, yeah.
Almost done. Very nice.
Thank you. Oh, this is wonderful.
This piece is called On My Way Home, and it's the People's Republic of China. We've been watching this piece come together all week, and it's made up of a lot of very intricately carved characters. And as is tradition with them, their pieces often tell a story, usually a children's fairy tale.
It looks a lot of fun just to look at it.
It is. It's a very interesting piece. You can look at each of the characters and figure out what they're doing. This is James Stugart and his family. We've been visiting with them all week long, and they have still yet to unveil the tree that's in the middle of this piece. We'll have to wait. They've got an additional 2 hours to finish their piece due to the warm weather.
It's interesting to see how it'll turn out, because they're keeping that piece covered, and we've been walking around, all the other sculptures are revealed, but there's that one piece that nobody's seen. It's just interesting.
He always has these really long names for his piece. This one is called Bending Age, Fading Vile, Brooding Within.
We have here Junichi Nakamura with his team from Japan. He's a world-class carver and won this championship a couple of times, and they always just put their best foot forward. It's really interesting and intricate.
He's won many times in the past. His pieces usually involve some kind of dramatic moment stopped in time. Well, this is the piece that was competing for height, that it looks like that they are in very close competition. This is the one we were talking about earlier. This one is currently up almost 24 feet.
A foot above the other one.
A foot above the other one. But there is another piece down the row here that could even be higher. It's the Samurai Warrior. So we'll see who gets the award for the highest piece. But they are impressive.
It is, and this is an abstract piece called Maidens of Poseidon.
This is Jeff Kaiser, Casey Connor, Edwin Hutchison, and Dave Faber. They lost a few of their accompaniments earlier. They had some horses that were supposed to be up there, and they came apart in the heat.
The following piece is Crevasse. It's in the realistic category with the goats and The crew is Anita Tabor, Gina Eaton, Jacob Harding, and Greg Bartholomew.
This team competes every year in this event, and they usually have some kind of Alaska nature scene. I believe this is the first mountain piece they've done.
It's really neat to see it come together because they were talking about it earlier. And we don't really have an idea for it, but now that they've put it together, it's like we finally know what they were talking about.
Yeah, we were watching them carve the goat head earlier.
This is Site 16. They're in the realistic category, and the sculpture is called the Samurai Warrior. The teammates are Burr Rasmussen, Dean Damaris, Roland De La Garza, and Paul Miller.
Now this is the piece that is competing for the highest. This is the one we think will probably win. They still have a large sword that's got to go on the very top, and that's going to put them up over 26 feet.
They were really nervous about putting the top piece of his upper body on yesterday because it's just so heavy, and I'm glad that they were able to get it on.
We watched the lift yesterday, and the piece that went onto the top was over 6,000 pounds.
That's a lot of weight, and no wonder they were nervous. It's not only dangerous, but it can sabotage the whole sculpture if it falls because it's such a big piece. Such a big part of it.
That is a massive piece of ice. This is a piece we've been watching all week long. This dragon has drawn more attention than most of the other pieces in this competition. The dragon has an expression that is pretty unique. The piece is called Hunting Dragons.
The team members are Steve Bryce, Heather Bryce, Steve Cox, and Justin Cox. So the dragon looks really vicious.
Those are some pretty sharp teeth.
I really love the detail on the wings. It makes it look like one of those glass jewelry box models. They have the tail up. I remember it was hard to put that up yesterday. We were watching them, and we came in right as they were putting the details on and gluing it up. And I'm glad that they have it up. It was hard because yesterday was really warm as well.
It was, and it was very difficult to get things to stick. Now the Bryces are known for their ability to apply a lot of very subtle textures to their work. It makes the piece luminescent.
It's a very fun one to look at.
Okay, this is the last piece in the row. This is Site 20. It's an abstract category, and it's called Winter Breeze.
The team members are Stan Kolonko, Jerry Perrin, Chris Duhara, and Wei Sang Leong.
This was a little slow to come together at first. It was really difficult to tell what exactly it was going to be. They kept it well disguised until the last minute. But
I really love all the details right here, the snowflake flowers.
That's what finally brought the piece together, I think, is when you see the fallen tree up there and the windswept snow and all the snowflakes, then you realize what it is that they were
making.
Yeah.
It's fun to look at. I especially love the flowers that are right here in front, those acting as a fence.
Snowflakes.
Snowflakes and snowflakes. That's right, they are snowflakes. One of them looks like a flower, but
it does.
I don't know, it's really neat. And look, there's ice crystals too.
Mm-hmm. No, not those kind of braces.
Ouch!
Huh?
Well, that's our walkthrough for this 2013 BP World Ice Art Championships multi-block competition. There's still a little time left on the clock. And we will be in a future episode going back down the fairway, looking at the pieces as the judges see them. But for now, I'm Steve Iverson.
And I'm Yelena Petkova.
And we will see you on a future episode.